Mr. Payne, would you give us your full name and DOC number, please?
Eric, yes, sir.
Yes,
Eric Darnell Payne, code 20887.
thank you very much, Mr. Payne. Let me explain our process to you. First, I'm going to read some information into the record. Then the board is going to conduct a parole interview with you. At the end, you'll be allowed to make a brief statement before the board votes. Do you understand our procedure?
Yes, sir.
This is the matter of Eric D. Payne, DOC number 420887. Date of birth, May 13th of 1981. He's classified as an 11th felony offender. He has a parole eligibility date of March the 27th of 2024, an adjusted good time date of December the 27th of 2038, and a full term date of March the 27th of 2039. He is currently serving a 20-year sentence on the charge of obscenity after having been adjudicated a third offender. Is that sound correct, Mr. Payne?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Payne, your case has been assigned to me, so I'll begin our interview process. Mr. Payne, how old are you, sir?
I'm 43.
And how long have you been in prison on these charges this time?
Like 4 years and some.
Okay. Let me ask you, Mr. Payne, how have you ever calculated how long in your life you've spent either in jail or in prison?
Yes, sir.
How many years have you spent in prison?
Most of my whole life.
When did you first go to prison?
When I was like 14 years old.
How far did you go in school?
I want to say like the 9th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade.
Okay. And why did you quit in the 9th grade?
I'm gonna be honest with you, sir. I mean, I just stopped going. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Okay. Where were you living when you quit school? Who were you living with?
I was living with my grandmother.
What did you do when you quit school?
I mean, I was, you know, I know you can see on my record there, I got a couple of drug charges too, and I was selling drugs.
Have you ever had a real job that like go to work at the 7-Eleven or Burger King or anywhere like that?
No, sir.
How did you make a living? Selling drugs?
Selling the little drugs here and there, yes, sir.
Tell me why you're in prison now. Do you know?
Yes, sir.
Tell me why.
For obscenity.
Well, tell me about that. Have you given any thought to that? Why do you continue to do that? I mean, you've been caught at least 3 times.
Yes,
you're
sir.
adjudicated a third offender for obscenity. So tell me what prompts you to do that?
At the time, sir, I mean, I was really acting with, I really had no self-awareness, and I was acting without basic self-awareness. I mean, I really didn't even know myself. I had no expectations, no visions, no responsibilities to being committed to being responsible. I mean, I was just acting without basic self-awareness. Like I never had time to really get to know myself. But since I've been incarcerated this time right here, if you ever look and see all the times I've been incarcerated, it's been for like 9 months or a year, stuff like that. I really never had time to really just get to know myself. I really never had time to get to know myself and know this and find out what's more important to me and the things that I value.
Let's talk a little bit about what you've done while you've been in prison. I know you're trying to get into some literacy programs. Have you been able to get into any programs that will help you learn how to read and write?
Well, I'm still trying to get in school right now. I'm on the waiting list. I've been on the waiting list for like a couple of months now, but I'm still waiting, and I'm still willing to wait. And if I gotta wait for y'all to make a better decision, or this to help my situation come out in a better outcome, I'm willing to do whatever it takes for me to make my situation better. Like, I'm still trying to get in that process too. To get in school, I'm still trying to get in school.
Is this the longest term you've ever been in prison at one stretch?
Yes, sir. This time right here.
Now, I've looked at your record. I mean, you've got at least 12 felony convictions. You've been arrested over 40 times. You have 4 obscenity charges. You have a number of property crimes. You've got several escapes. You've got some drug charges. You've got an indecent behavior charge, kidnapping, a number of driving offenses. And almost every time you've been out on supervision, you got revoked.
I don't have no decent behavior charge.
Well, you were arrested for that. They may have not charged, you may have not been convicted of that, but you got arrested for that.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
So tell me why all of those crimes? You said you sold drugs. Did you use drugs?
I mean, I smoked marijuana and pop ace pills. Those most of the only drugs I ever used in my life.
Well, how often were you using those drugs?
Like, on a daily basis, and
Oh,
sometimes.
every day. You were smoking marijuana every day?
Yes, sir.
What kind of pills were you popping?
I took ace pills, but before I was incarcerated, I really wasn't taking them like talking about it.
When was the last time you took any kind of pills?
It was probably like well, I'm not gonna lie. I think it was probably like a little bit before I was incarcerated.
So you were still doing pills and smoking marijuana when you came to jail the last time?
Yes, sir.
So how do you intend on, if you were to get out, what are you going to do to make sure you don't go back to smoking marijuana and popping pills?
Well, I'm gonna be a productive person, but I know, like, so far as me smoking marijuana and ace pills, I mean, I got enough mind control and self-awareness not to even go back to doing that though.
Well, it sounds like you've taken some classes and you've learned some key words to mention to us. And that's good. I think you're on the right track. Okay.
Yes, sir.
But what are you going to do to be able to stop smoking marijuana? I mean, what's your plan? What have you learned in any of the classes that you've taken that will make me feel comfortable that you're not going to go back out there and start smoking again?
Well, I mean, I know not to, I know how to dodge all risk, like anything that can bring me back, like, that'll make me relapse. I know how to avoid it, but I mean, I really never had no problem with not just with relapsing on it. It just, when I did it, it was just something I choose to do, but I know with my mind.
You said you didn't have any problem with relapsing. You just told me a minute ago you smoked marijuana every day when you were out. And then you admitted, as you were thinking about it, that you were actually popping pills until the day before you got in prison. So, I mean, you do drugs when you're not in jail. And that's probably part of the reason why you've had a lot of these criminal issues.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever do you take any kind of medication, prescription medication?
No, sir.
Have you ever been evaluated to determine why you may have done some of the things that you were doing?
No, sir. I mean, I had to learn on my own. I had to do my own I had to evaluate myself because at the time, I never had nobody to help me evaluate myself.
What have you determined in evaluating yourself? What conclusions have you come to?
Well, I came to the conclusion, like the things that made me do a lot of the things that I was doing because I had no self-awareness to think about my thought patterns. You know what I'm saying? And the things like I say that I value the
What
most.
does it mean that you had no self-awareness? What does that mean to you? Well, I don't understand. What does it mean that you didn't have any self-awareness? You clearly were in a car, you went to Super One, you were masturbating in the car, you left, you came back. I mean, what self-awareness are we talking about? What do you mean by self-awareness? What didn't you know?
I mean, like,
You realized that was wrong? You had been arrested 3 different times for very similar actions in the past.
yes, sir. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, sir. I did know it was wrong. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So what
But
is this self-awareness mean? What does
the
that
thing,
mean?
I say the self-awareness is like the part that govern me for my good conduct and my wrong conduct. It's like a thought process to really just think about it and what matters the most. And instead of thinking for a quick fix or a quick solution, I could have been thinking of the long-term process of what I could have been doing for my future. It's like a thought process to think about what really matters the most instead of just thinking about a quick fix or a quick solution or something like that. Though I never really knew how to think about my thought process. I was
And
just,
so what has made the change? What is it this time that you've been in prison for longer than you've been in before, according to you? What is it that has helped you change? Is it some of the programs that you've taken? You've taken a couple of programs. Did you get anything out of those programs? Anything in those programs help you?
yes, sir. I mean, I done learned a lot from the programs, and really just before the programs, I read a lot of self-help books, and I've been evaluating myself from day one because
Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about your education. Can you read and write?
yes, I mean I can read and I can certain words I can't really spell too good, but I say I can read enough to get by, yes, sir.
And have you ever tried to get your GED?
Well, I'm supposed to be on the waiting list. I took my TABE test, and I've been placed on the waiting list, but I'm still on the waiting list. Like it should be on documents or whatever.
Mr. Payne, where were you living 4.5 years ago in 2018 when you were arrested? Where were you living at?
In 2018,
Yeah, when you got arrested, since you've been in jail, where were you living before you came to jail?
you talking about what city or my neighborhood?
Well, I mean, were you living in a house with a relative? Did you have your own place? Where were you living?
I was living with a relative,
Who was your relative?
my brother.
Your brother.
Yes, sir.
And what did your brother do for a living?
Well, he used to work. He worked it on cars, but I'm gonna be honest with you, sir. I had a brother that did 8 years in a federal penitentiary, but he didn't change his life now. He did 8 years in Tenshaw.
Okay, well, let's talk about you. Where would you live if you're going to get out anytime soon? Where would you go live?
Oh, I can go live with my dad, my brother, my sister.
Well, I mean, are they willing to take you in? I mean, you say you can go. Do you have a plan? Have you talked to anybody?
Yes,
If we turned you loose tomorrow, where would you go?
I got my brother. I got family members that I got family support. I got a lot of family support that.
Well, I hear that, but I don't see anybody here today speaking on your behalf. Why isn't anyone, did your family know you had a hearing today?
I mean, yes, sir, they knew, but I figure like, my word should be good enough because they can say anything, but my conduct record and just me speaking alone be more valuable than what they can speak.
Mr. Payne, your criminal record is horrible.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Now, the
But
last 4.5 years while you've been in prison, when you're in prison, it looks like you don't get in trouble. But when you're out, you do.
yes, sir. And I apologize for all my mistakes that I made in my life, but at the time, like I would say, I was younger on a lot of my charges. I was younger, but that's not an excuse. But like I say, my biggest problem was self-awareness. And you know, sometimes we have to evolve into conscious beings. Like everybody not born with a high level of consciousness. And sometimes we have to evolve to that level like that, though. And I was one of them type of persons that had to just
Gordon, what can you tell us about Mr. Payne?
Mr. Payne he arrived here in January of this year, and he has taken the TAB test and is on the waiting list for the literacy class. He's currently enrolled in living in balance and victim awareness. He has completed risk management. He does not have a conduct record. He has not been a disciplinary issue. He had a good work evaluation. He currently works in the kitchen here at Wade. He had a good evaluation from Lieutenant Colonel Ford. That's all I have, sir.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
I have one question. Now, Eric, you said you left school in the 9th grade. Were you in regular classes or were you in special ed classes?
I was in special ed.
Okay, how long had you been in special ed? Do you remember?
Since I've been in elementary, probably like since I was a little
Okay.
kid.
Okay, was your mother getting SSI for you?
I mean,
You're not sure? You're not sure?
no, she never started getting SSI, but her and my grandmother was trying to get it when I was younger. But like I say, once I turned 14, was in and out of being incarcerated, that I never stayed out long enough to get it, man.
Did anybody ever explain to you why you were in special ed? Did they ever tell you?
I
You don't
just
remember what they said?
knew I was a slow learner. I thought it was just for me being a slow learner.
Okay, all right. All right, but thank you for answering my questions. All I had, Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Payne, is there anything you'd like to say to the board before we vote?
I just want to say my biggest problem was my self-awareness, and I'm still in classes that I need to finish. And if y'all do grant my parole today, which I please wish y'all can. And if y'all got any classes y'all would like me to recommend, y'all would like to recommend for me to finish. And I want to appreciate y'all for this opportunity. Thank y'all for this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Payne.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Payne, I enjoyed the interview. I think you've been honest with me as best you can be. I think that you're moving in the right direction. I think that I'd like to see you be able to get into that literacy class. I'd like to see you get your GED if you can. I'd like to see you take some more classes in treatment regarding your substance abuse. You've got a significant substance abuse problem, and you need to get a really good transition plan. I mean, you say I've got potentially places to go and live. You know, it's not easy taking someone in their home and having them live with you. So you need a little more planning. You're moving in the right direction. I think you need some programs like maybe Thinking for a Change to, you know, you talk about your awareness, your self-awareness. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but I think you're on the right track. And that is, you need to look internally and try to figure out why it is you do what you do. You know, it's one thing to say, okay, you know, I stole some property because I wanted some money to go buy drugs, or, you know, I burglarized a house because I needed some money, you know. But this obscenity business that you have a significant record of is more of an emotional, mental issue that you need to address.
Yes,
And I
sir.
think that you need to get an evaluation, you need to make some determination as to what that is. And I'm not willing to let you out yet without all of that, because if I do, I think you're just gonna come right back in. And we want you to get out, but we want you to stay out. So my vote today is to deny, but to encourage you to kind of move forward. And I'm gonna ask the warden if it's possible to get an evaluation for you and see if there's any specific classes that might help you come to a better awareness of what, especially the obscenity charges. Okay, that's my vote, but I'm denying you, but I'm encouraging you to keep working hard, okay? Ms. Wise?
All right, Eric, I do too. Likewise, I appreciate the progress that you're making. I can tell that you're working hard. And you don't want to be the same person if you get out this time. And I do want to encourage you next time that if your family want to come and be with you at the hearing, let them come. That they can speak to what's going on the outside and what's available. You can only speak to what's going on the inside. They can kind of verify some things for us. So if they want to be at the hearing, I just want to mention that to you. My vote is the same, to deny. I don't think you served enough time on that 20-year sentence. Your criminal history, you're a 11th offender, you have high risk, and you really need to complete that literacy class. And then there's a need for substance abuse treatment, and you have law enforcement opposition to your early release. Best wishes to you, so just take it.
You say, what about the opposition?
Law enforcement. We reach out to the law enforcement community in the parish where you got convicted, and we asked their opinion about early release. And a lot of them were against you getting out early. I'm just putting that on the record. Nothing you can do about that. It's just their opinion.
Thank you, Mr. Wise. Mr. Freeman?
I concur with my colleagues. My vote is to deny.
Mr. Payne, you've got 3 votes to deny, but I think we're all encouraging you to continue to work as hard as you're working, because eventually you're going to be able to get out, and it may not be as long as you think. So try to get your literacy work done. Try to get some more substance abuse and get an evaluation. And when you're eligible again, reapply, and maybe you'll have a different verdict. But for today's purposes, your parole is denied. So good luck to you.
All right, appreciate y'all very much.
Thank you. Warden, thank you very much. We'll close out. The time is 1:59.
Okay, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.